What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Sorry, Big Edie distracted me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Craft for Hours. I'm David Wilson. This is a stream series where we get together and try to build something interesting in the span of about 2.5 hours. Just have some fun working on some code. Yes, I'm using slightly different music today. I mean, it's very different music. I got kind of bored. Bored listening to the same 4 songs over and over again on all the streams, and I probably figure you do too. So how about just try something different today? This is a playlist on Spotify called No Copyright Synthwave, and it sounds pretty good. I'm trying to dial in the volume levels though, so let me know. Change is bad, yes. So let me know if the audio level is too high on the audio, because I'm playing it through Spotify, unlike I normally do with MPV, so I have less control over it in an automation standpoint, from an automation standpoint. Okay, so last time we intended to work on the user registration form plus picking the user's packages or whatever packages they use in their Emacs configuration. We managed to implement a user registration form, and it worked for the most part. But we had an issue with the validation that we had added. So we added form field validation. So whenever you're in the web page and you're starting to type your username, etc., it doesn't let you complete the form, or it shouldn't let you complete the form until you have filled in all the fields correctly, or at least given a value to the ones that are required. And we had a weird issue with Datastar where when we put in information in the fields, it would delete the field. So I kind of left the stream without having figured that issue out, and luckily Trev took a look after the stream and figured out that it was a bug that was in the version of Datastar we were using, and we were kind of like 5 or 6 beta versions behind on 1.0. So by upgrading to that, it should be fixed now. I'm going to pull the code in a second. We're going to try it out, but at least that part is resolved, which is great. Thanks, Trev, for looking into that. So we'll try to finish up the details on the registration page this morning, just maybe in about 30 minutes, to try to see what we can, what else we have left to make that work, because it would be nice if people could actually register on the site. Another thing is something that Alejandro brought up in the comments of the last stream recording, Borosio, if you know him from the chat. So apparently we're syncing the site data multiple times. So I believe it's because we're not checking to see if the database already exists before we're trying to sync the archives. So probably need to do that check now, just to make sure that we don't try to resync all the archives and put them in the database again for every single deployment. Also need to delete the existing database one last time, because once we start allowing people to create users, at least on the staging side, it doesn't matter too much, but once we start allowing people to create users on the site, we don't really want to delete the database anymore. We just need to react to whatever problems that we've caused. So let's try to get that out of our system now and delete the database one last time, and then we'll move on. And then after that, what I would like to do is start breaking up some of this code we've written into their own library. So break up code into reusable libraries. So things like the SCSS to CSS tool, the Datastar library, form validation, but that may be part of the Datastar library. I'm not sure exactly where that should live. The Datastar stuff, well, maybe there might be a case for a separate UI library that builds on the Datastar library, so we'll think about that too. or larger UI framework. What else? What do we have in the code that might be reusable? Let's see. So, source, site. Oh, the database migration stuff. The logger. So, database migration, logger. Because there are definitely things I would like to reuse in other places. Let me just pull up the folder for that. So let's see, what else? Session management, potentially. I don't want to overdo it, but I think some of these things would be kind of useful. So let's see, what could we say for that? Like site backend utils, session, password, etc. Things like that. So things that can be pulled out into separate libraries. I'm not sure exactly what we'll call the set of libraries yet, but the goal would be to make it so that I can reuse the same stuff, at least on this site and on the new systemcrafters.net. And if anybody else wants to use these in their own Guile-based web projects, they should be able to do that as well. And then we're going to try to package those up. Package the libraries with geeks and use them in the project. So that kind of makes it a little bit more complicated to develop the libraries while we're working on the site, but we can use local load paths to get around that problem. So it's a thing that we shouldn't really have a huge issue with. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we would need to include here. That should be good enough for now, though. But I'll probably need some help on naming and whatnot as we start moving through this. So, how's everyone doing? I see, I forgot to welcome the people who are in the chat. Hello to Trev, Big Edie, Glenn, and Fikri. I see so far. Say hello in the chat if you're around. Cool. So here's where I'm at. I want to get the site to a state where we can deploy it and it can be useful for people. It doesn't have to be the best website in the world. It doesn't have to be the prettiest website in the world. It just has to be out there. And then once it's functioning and people can use it, hey, Peter, then maybe we'll take a pause on that and work on some other stuff in the meantime. There is the game jam coming up soon, the Spring Lisp game jam. I need to put that in the notes, the streams. But it's going to be on May 9th, which obviously is like 2 months from now, but I kind of want to be ready for that. And some of the stuff we're doing right now might be useful for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a game with Hoot, or if I'm going to do something with the backend stuff we're working on with Datastar. Because I've got an idea in mind that would be kind of cool, which is to make a web-based, kind of like a MUD, like a dungeon crawler type game, but use the power of the web to make it a bit more interesting and playable from anywhere. And a lot of stuff we've been working on right now could very easily tie into that. MMO, sort of like an MMO. But another thing that I kind of want to do for Guile is to try and write an HTTP2 implementation. Because there isn't one for Guile, and currently the HTTP stack in Guile does not support concurrent request handling in the way that would be. Oh, it doesn't support it in a way that the way the APIs are designed do not support doing streaming responses. Okay, streaming responses are very important for real-time web applications that don't need WebSockets. Sure, you could use WebSockets, but Datastar actually kind of is built on the idea that you should be able to do service-end events to power real-time UI. So in theory, with Datastar, we should be able to hit an endpoint that can do streaming responses and just get events back. And so you can just basically be on a page of the game and then be getting the events back for the game in the page, and it should be all happening in real time. Speaker says the guy built interactive game using Datastar. I believe it was not rendered in HTML Canvas. It might be actually Canvas or OpenGL, but all the stuff that's being rendered is coming back from the server. Like the server is sending all the elements that are causing the rendering to happen, which is kind of crazy. Yes, it uses server sent events to transmit the data, and it really only you only get the biggest benefit from that if your server can do streaming, or like a streaming response that can continue writing out events without having to like complete the whole response. And right now, the Guile API kind of assumes that whenever your handler gets called, it's going to complete writing all the response out and then return. And we don't want that. We want something where we can continue writing, like to a port, basically. Just continue writing stuff to it, and then eventually like invoke a close on the port. So that's something we would do later. Peter says, doesn't D Thompson have a WebSocket library? Yes, but that's kind of like separate from what I'm talking about. SSE is something that's more of a standard HTTP thing, because you can do server sent events if you have a long running HTTP connection open. You don't need WebSockets for that. Now, if you want bidirectional, events from the client to the server and from the server to the client, you definitely need WebSockets, because you can't really do that the same way with without WebSockets. But I don't know. Maybe HTTP2 has some solutions for that. But I'm dumb enough to think that I could go and try to write my own HTTP2 implementation. Why do that? Because HTTP2 is a bit more efficient and well aligned to this kind of server sent event type style thing. And also because it might be fun, because it's a specification. I mean, you just follow the specification, implement it, and then in theory, it will work. So it'd be nice to have an HTTP2 library in Guile. I don't know that I will do this, okay? I'm saying that I'm interested in trying it, and we might try to do it on the streams. At least it's a thing that you could write tests for and validate. Peeker says, it is possible using SSE and basic HTTP call, but it's probably not that fast. What isn't that fast? I mean, it's totally fine to have a normal HTTP call and server sent events. If the connection can stay open, it's perfectly fast, because you're writing data and it's getting directly back to the browser, and it should just pick those events up. But yeah, that's for later. I'm just saying I want to work on some other things, not just the Emacs packages project. So we might get this site to a stopping point, or at least a pause point, let's say, where it's out there and it's working, but then we move on to some other things. Because there's plenty of fun stuff that we could be doing, and not just this one website. However, we're going to be using all the stuff we've been building up until now on everything. All right, so let me get into the project and pull down the code that that Trev had committed. BC Deer, I'm gonna pull. It got super cold today, and it's cold in this room, and my hands are not operating in the appropriate way. Peter says there's much more why HTTP2 support would be nice, like multiplexing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and also binary format is faster to read and write. Batch requests, all kinds of stuff that is really nice in terms of HTTP2 would be a nice thing to have. Speaker says, or David wants to go the Soding way, re-implementing WebSocket specs. Not exactly. I think what he did maybe was just for fun and as a flex. For me, it wouldn't be as for a flex. It would be because I kind of see Guile as a viable backend language, but we kind of need to have a more modern HTTP library, especially with HTTP2 support, so that we could do more modern app designs. Because I think that the HTTP library was kind of written back when people weren't doing long-lived server connections. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but it seems very limited in its current design. And also something that fibers could plug into really easily. So you could use fibers for concurrency on that, which would be really useful, especially for a game where you have a whole lot of things happening sort of in the server, and you need to be able to asynchronously read and write from ports. All right, so I've pulled down the latest stuff. Really, the change that Trev made is bumping the data star version to fix the issue with the data signals. So just by doing that, we should be able to see the stuff working correctly. So if I load up the page and I go to, what is it, register? All right, username, blah. Yeah, so now it doesn't delete it. So thank you, Trev, for, Peter says, no flex. Yes, sure. No. I don't know that I can do it. I don't know that I'll do a good job at it. I don't know how complex it is. I just want to try it. So wef@wef.com, full name, Wefson, password, bio, okay, whatever. So the validation works correctly now, which is great. I mean, it's basic validation. So let's just write down what we need to do to make this fully complete. So I'm gonna say views, register. Let me know if the music is too loud too. I can't really tell how loud it is on the stream. So we have a couple things we need to fix, and also let me let's take this check value stuff out, and I need to connect to the REPL. So geyser connect. Glenn says write Guile bindings for ng HTTP2. Maybe, but I feel like we need a more native solution because we need to make it possible to connect with fibers in a very compatible way. So if you're wrapping a C library, then things get complicated pretty fast, and I don't really think we need to do that. Certainly the performance would be better if we depended on a C library, but Rev says I like to hear the sizzling of the monster bubbles. I don't think you get to hear that anyway, but let me turn it down some. It is distracting me a little bit too, so maybe that's a sign. All right, that might be better. Okay. So I'm trying to get the REPL up. There we go. There's a REPL. I'll close that window off for now. And we need to do a couple things. First of all, use appropriate validators for each field, because it's not just that they're not empty. Some of them, like email, needs to make sure that the format's correct, you know, to some basic degree. So like password strength, length requirements, email format. What else? Check username if taken, which is kind of a weird thing to try to do because we need context to go along with that. So what would that take? So if we have not empty value label, do we have context we could pass through? It'd be nice if we could pass through context to validators, because then a validator can look at the database, but it feels a little bit risky to do that. So maybe we won't do the database check. But we also need run validators one last time on clicking register, or disable the button until then, which is another thing we can do. We can disable that register button. And then make sure the login redirect page is displayed correctly. So those are the things we kind of need to do to make sure that registration page works and is validating the way that we want it to. But so far, it's looking pretty good. I mean, that's not bad for a little registration page. It's very basic looking, but at least it gets the job done. Should I support Markdown in the bio? So let's see. Let's get started by setting some requirements. So for the username, Markdown in the bio isn't in the MVP. Yeah, it doesn't really need to be. Doesn't need to be. Define. it would be nice to have a way to combine multiple validators so you don't have to have a lambda. So I'll tell you what I mean. Actually, maybe you don't need that. All right, so min length. Length. So lambda, wait, hold on a second. Value label, oh right, okay, so value label. And then string length value. Yeah, the way that I've designed this is a little bit wonky. I need to slightly think of a better way to do it. But let's just write it first, and then I'll think about it a little bit. Because the inversion of the logic kind of twists my brain a little bit. So string length value is greater than length. Maybe we can fold the input over a list of functions as a way to compose a validator. Yeah, something like that for sure. Fold the input over a list of functions. If there was a way, I mean, there is a way with continuations to early exit. Let's just think about it for a minute. So min length, okay. I don't like naming variables the same as the... Let's do that. Min length, if greater than or equal to min length. Or let's say less than. How about that? Hey, lactose. Working on a few things. If you scroll back a little bit in the video, you'll see what we're talking about. Let's see. Value for A must be... Right now, we're trying to finish the user registration form. Value for the field must be at least chars. So that's going to be label and min length. All right, so for username, we could say minimum length 4, and that's valid. Full name not empty. We don't really want to validate that because I think I said it's optional, so we can leave that off. Password. In fact, we can just call that valid password. So valid password value label. And let's see, what's the best way to say this? Factoring out some generic code into reusable Guile libraries. Thank you, Trev. So string index. Oh, actually, I should just do string index. There we go, string index. Character predicate. Does character predicate let me? Geyser duck. Is it going? No. Let's see, Guile reference. Programming. No. There we go, API reference. What am I looking for? Ugh. My brain is not working today. Oops. Oh, man, I typed it again. Can you believe that? Hit I, thank you. All right, so character predicate. If it is a character, it satisfies the predicate, character predicate if it's a procedure. Cool. All right, so string index. And their predicates list, characters. I want some functions. Okay, character, CI, case insensitive, alphabetic. Okay, there we go. That's it. So char alphabetic, char numeric. I think we can test this procedure out too. So string index, char alphabetic, and what was the rest of the stuff here? String. Okay, value. Is there a way to check for an uppercase character? I probably can use char uppercase, char lowercase. Okay, how about that? This is kind of cheesy, but I mean, it's not like it's going to be running at 60 frames per second or anything. So who cares? I don't. Just drop a few down. So we got lowercase. Is there like a digit? Is both alphabetic, numeric. And is there like a symbol one? So is both not is alphabetic. Char is both either uppercase or lowercase. General category. Uppercase, lowercase, modifier, other. Yeah, there's too many different options. So there's no way to check for both alphabetic and numeric, so I'd have to make my own little lambda for that. So uppercase, lowercase, numeric. And actually, this should be -1, right? Uppercase, lowercase, numeric, and lambda C. Not. Terrible. Okay. Also, the length needs to be a minimum length. I guess the problem is, yeah, okay, that's fine. So, is that right? And see a biggity. Greater than, let's say 8. I don't know. What's the minimum password length? Okay. So we're gonna go into the REPL. And where are we? So we're gonna go to what is the module here? Site views users. Valid password. A. Wrong number of arguments, valid password. Sure. false. A1. A1. AAAAAB. All right, so that's 8 characters. What if I change one of these to a symbol? False. What else are we missing? Oh, capital letter. Let's change an A to a capital letter. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I say greater than? Yeah, greater than. Oh, and this needs to be less than. Okay. No. Right. I think I need to flip these. All right, still. So if string is less than 8, let's just bring them all in one at a time. How about that? Say what? Okay, true. So that's good. Let me just make sure I'm doing this the right way. So this is going to return false again. That's fine. And that's because I need to put this in a not, I think. I'll fix the indentation. So the password is valid only if it's not this, right? So something is invalid if the string length is less than 8 and there is not an uppercase character. What about lowercase character, numeric? Okay, so still fine. If I were to put it below 8 characters though, that ain't right. Okay, I think my logic is bad here. Let me check my other one. So for not empty and not, so we have a value. I guess I need to check that too, huh? That kind of makes sense. So and value greater than string length 0. Okay. This is all positive case stuff. So valid would be in this case. Okay, so now that looks right. So it's greater than 0. What? false. Wrong argument in position 2, false. Oh, does string index return false if it doesn't find the thing? That would explain a lot. So if we go look at info, string index. What was the info previous? L. Returns false if no match is found. That's actually much better. Okay, so that's false. If I put a capital A, returns 1. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Then I can just put a T at the end for all of them. All right, so, and then for this one, so the string index, value, lambda C. Make sure we can check for a symbol. Okay, it looks right. And if I take the symbol out, it still returns true, which makes no sense. So a character that's not alphabetic and not numeric, does it consider star to be alphabetic? Did I get that wrong? Oh. You're right. Thanks, Trev. So, or alphabetic or numeric. Thank you. That's correct. And then we go put the star back. Cool. All right. So that works. Now we need a symbol. We need a number. We need an uppercase character, lowercase character. Now for the actual implementation of this, so what we do is we have and not, which is a little bit psychotic. Format F. Password must contain be at least 8 characters long. Well, let's do this. We're not gonna. Let's make it 10. How about that? Okay, so we've got valid password. Password must be at least characters long and consist of one lowercase letter, one uppercase letter, a number, and a symbol. All right, so let's see. Oh, right, I didn't put the min password length. Okay, so I got that. Now I'm gonna go put that into the password field. So valid password. Minimum length is not valid. Not valid yet. Let me check that one too. So minimum length, 5, let's say. And I'm gonna go and wrap this so it gets called immediately. String with 2 characters, name. Value for name must be at least 5 characters long. 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so then it's false. If I remove 1 character off, it's fine. I also need to make sure that there is a value, because at the beginning there won't be. Less than. So this is wrong, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. All right, now I'll go reevaluate the form, and then I'm going to go back here and try to type some of this stuff in. Why did it save everything? I don't want it to save these. That's weird. Doesn't minimum length still need to return T? No. Yeah, this is kind of the way that this is weirdly designed. Let me figure out why this is not working, then we'll talk about it. Password must be provided. That's old. That's not valid anymore. Register form. Register form. Render page. There we go. Okay. And why was that needed? Value of registered form shouldn't have been stored in there. I don't see any closure. Anyway. All right. Value for username must be at least 4 characters long. Email must be provided. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, weird. Oh, I need to go and reevaluate the other one too. The validate handler. That one makes a little bit of sense, but still, it's a top level define. It should have been replaced. All right, so email must be provided. That's fine. Okay, password. A. Star. Capital A, 1. There it goes. Okay, so now the password is valid. But if I start deleting characters from the beginning, why is it doing that? There we go. Cool. All right, so that works. All right, so username must be at least 4 characters long. Boom, that works. Good, good, good. Huh, okay, that's weird. All right. Secret says, is this for HTML form validation? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Email. I think that email validation regex, I feel like this needs to be very loose. Yeah. Because, yeah, it can't be looking for specific domains. It needs to be able to support subdomains and things of that nature. So if I go to use module ICE9 regex, is it regex with a P? Whoa, what just happened? Okay. Let's see, regex. Okay, and then back to the email form field. So, and not. String match. Let me actually check. I think that's a valid regex. That looks right. Pattern and then string value. Unexpected geyser eval. Why is there a problem? Do I need to backslash these, escape these, let's say? Okay, unspecified, there we go. Now let's try that one too. Oh, label. Invalid range end. Do I need to have 2 slashes? Is it that kind of thing? Or am I just, All right, yeah. Maybe these are not actually the same format. So it says POSIX extended regular expressions. Perl compatible. Email address regex POSIX compatible. It can't be right, is it? Oh, do I need actually slashes on all the other stuff? Is that what's happening? That can't be right, can it? What just happened? Unbound variable. Oh. Does that work though for these? Because Emacs style is different, isn't it? Because Emacs has a different format, I think. Doesn't support escaping character classes when I wasn't matching the strings. That's a character class. Okay, so it makes sense they're escaping the thing in there. Okay, it's a character class. Did I break the REPL? Let's just restart the entire thing, because I think I broke everything. Oh. Invalid range end. I'm guessing it has to do with this? No. Is it because there's no... There's like a character class here, but there's no... Hold on. Call to make if a call. Okay. Is that correct though? It doesn't make sense. Oh, the hyphen character. Okay. Got it. The more slashes, the merrier. I don't know. Hey, Alex. That's not right, is it? It can't be right. Yeah, still invalid range end. Which range? Process of elimination. Valid character and escape sequence. Does a white space character, is white space slash work like that? irregular expression. Complete misnomer. Yes. All right, so blank space and tab. Shorthand /H space /S/W. Okay, word. Fine. Word characters. Does it work? If I go and put that instead, will it work? Oops. Oh, need a colon at the end. Invalid character class name. Which? I don't like that we're wasting time on this. Trev says he can figure it out. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Hi, Kit. Maybe. Sounds good, Trev. Let's do that. I'm going to do something really dumb at first. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the @ symbol be what we're matching. You know, I guess using a regex probably would have been the way. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind. To do the password validation instead of doing the really stupid thing I did, but whatever. Make regex the way to madness. String match. That's true. That's false. Okay, that's our starting point. How about that? I don't really care. As long as there's an @ in there for now. And then we can also have a dot. With dot plus. Come on. Dot plus, dot plus. Okay. That's really, really crappy. But that will have to do for the moment. Go back into the page. I think that I should be able to check that. Where is the registration form? Right there. Reload the page. Reload the page. I probably need to go and reload everything else about it as well, which kind of sucks. Control C, Control B. How about that? There we go. Why is it not updating? That's pretty weird. Did I change it? Is that why? I'm an idiot? Yeah, that's why. Valid email. Okay, Control C, Control B. Reload. There we go. All right, so foo@foo.com. There we go. All right, so that's basic. That's better. So now that we have some basic validation here, so George with a J, booaboo.com, full name George, password A1 capital B. This is going to be really a pain. P4 capital S S W0 RD. Okay, you remember that? It doesn't take it? Oh, it needs to be 10 characters, so let's put 2 more D's at the end. Give me a break. P at capital S S W0 R D D D D D. Is that 10 characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I thought so. Okay, all right, fine. Bio, I'm George. Click register account. Your user account has been created. Please proceed to log in. Okay, let's see if it actually worked. George. I remember my own password now. P cap amper or at whatever that is. Capital S S W O R D D D. Oh, we're logged in as George. Okay, so it did work. We were able to register that user and then log in. We also need log out. Do I have log out? I probably should put a link for logging out. I click on George. Oh, log out. Boom. Cool. So that did work. Good. E at capital S S W 0 R D D D. Press enter. There we go. George logged back in. All right, cool. So we do have a working user creation form, and it is working from the database. So it does seem that, you know, you can create an account, log in, which is great. Give me a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and check this in, and then get started on some of the breaking everything up into separate libraries. So I'll be right back. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to think of a name. So we need a repo for this. So Codeberg, System Crafters. I mean, I think that's where we're going to put this stuff. Creating a repository. I want something that is indicative of this being a set of libraries for web development or web application development, like Guile Web Utils, but that just seems so boring. Guile Web Utils seems really boring to me. I'm trying to think of a better possible name for this that doesn't make me feel so sad. Something more evocative. Might feel like, you know, something cool that a person would want to use and pull into their project, but it doesn't really have to be. Also, maybe amenable to namespacing. That could be nice. So like, I would not put Guile web utils in a namespace, or let's say in a module. So if I were to go look at the CSS code for the project, where is it? Style, where the hell did I put it? Let's just look. Okay, the CSS file. So site util CSS. Site obviously is wrong, and util is obviously kind of wrong. So what would a good name be? In fact, let me default text scale increase. Let me make this a bit bigger. Something like Webcraft, but that kind of seems lame, and I'm betting money that that's a name somewhere that is being used. Webcraft, yeah, like everywhere. Who knows if that's even like trademarked or something. I mean, who's going to come after me for making something called that? But you never know. Whenever I was in high school, I had a website for my software company, which I called DW Soft. Really ingenious naming idea. And I actually got an email from a company called DW Soft saying, hey, stop using our name. And it was obviously not a legitimate, my site was not a legitimate software company because I had made the banner logo in the GIMP, and it was like flaming text. So obviously this is not a legitimate operation, but they still wanted to send a more or less a cease and desist to stop me from using the name DW Soft. So F you, DW Soft. So ever since then, I've been reluctant to use a name that is real, let's say, because I don't want to get another cease and desist letter and have to stop using something. Clearly, I'm going to overthink this, and it's going to take too long. Make sure what time we have. And I'm trying not to make it like System Crafters branded, because this is not really meant to be a System Crafters only thing. These libraries should be useful to anyone. It's almost like a framework in a sense. I mean, I can just go ahead and create it and we can start hacking on it and then change it, but I don't want to like change it too late. Craftile, Carswelt's coat says. That's interesting. Craftile. Not bad. Gweb. Yeah, that's probably a thing already. Guile Web Utils, Guile Web Frame, Guile Datastar. Yeah, Datastar, I don't want to tie it too much to that because it's going to use Datastar, but this is sort of like an overall set of tools that could be considered a framework or a loose framework for Guile web apps. I mean, it could be Guile web app, but still that seems a little bit lame. Web frame is cool. Guile web apps. Let's go with Guile web frame for now. Okay? I think that's good enough. Thanks, Trev. All right. A set of Guile libraries for writing web application. Server-driven web applications, let's say. Server-driven web applications. You can always change later. Yeah, let's just go with that because that's a good starting point, and we'll change it when we have to. All right, so I'm not going to initialize the repository, so I'm just going to push it myself. So we'll just copy that. In fact, we don't really need to copy it. I'll go into sites. Well, let's throw a little E shell up in this business. PE. Sure. Eat. Just go into eat. All right. Make dear. Guile web frame. This really needs to be in another folder, but I don't know. This whole concept I have of a sites folder just seems kind of pointless. I need to kind of simplify my code projects folder layout, but that's not a project for this stream. cd Guile web frame, git init, git remote, add origin, git at codeberg.org, systemcrafters / Guile web frame .git. Okay. Now, let's go over to that folder, Guile web frame. We're going to have a readme.org file in here somewhere. So just say title Guile web frame. This will be written later. Later. Fine. So we need a folder structure. Yeah, that's what we can do. I will start grabbing some things and pulling them over. So first of all, let me check out the Emacs packages. All right, so yeah, nothing is new there right now. That's good. So let's split this in half. We're gonna jump back over to emacsPackages.com. And then inside WebFrame, we're going to pull over the util stuff for CSS. Template, what's in there? Render page. I mean, we do need a generic approach to this, but I don't necessarily know that this is the right way to do it yet. Something will be needed for this. But it doesn't have to happen now. The data star library definitely needs to come over. I'm going to pull that over into the root. So copy that over to the root. I mean, I guess I could have it be the source directory so that it's... What the hell? Did I just overwrite that? That's so idiotic. Nice. Fantastic. Web frame. This will be written later, as long as I don't delete it again. Data star. No. Yes. Thank you. Maybe I will make a source folder. Kind of unusual, though, I guess, for Guile projects, so maybe I shouldn't. Everyone online says regex is awful for email validation. What do they do, though? I mean, a basic regex, at least to know that they have an at and a dot inside of it is probably good. But other than that, maybe only the at is really necessary, and characters before and after that. All right, we'll delete that. That's fine. I'm also going to make this a Geeks channel as well. So if we go back over to the Geeks folder here. I need the Geeks channel stuff. All right, so Geeks modules, cool. Geeks modules, all right. And then web frame doesn't have to be anything special here, but it could be packages.scn, because we could pull in services from this. Like if we have shared service definitions that could be used across projects. So I don't want to rule that possibility out. Oops. All right. And then over here, just as a test, let me just do this real quick. A lot of this stuff can be pulled over. I'm going to pull over the emaxpackages.com package definition because I'm going to sort of reuse a little bit of this. So that would be like Guile, WebFrame, CSS. Version 0.0.1. Local file. Guile WebFrame checkout. Okay. Guile build system. So let's think about this for a moment. Let's get one package working across the whole tool chain, and then we'll try to get the others going as well. So we've got WebFrame packages. It's not in the source directory. Now, the thing is, we don't want to pull all the source over. We only want to pull things that are part of the... Ooh. Interesting. I guess here's the rub. This needs to function as both a load path and a set of files that get pulled into the installation folder, but only a subset of them. And I should also preface this by saying, clearly we're doing this as one big repository with a few different libraries in it. Why do it that way? Because why have 15 different repositories? I mean, I guess we could have different repositories. Maybe it's not such a bad idea to have individual repositories. It would certainly simplify things quite a lot. And that might be what we eventually go to. But for now, it seems like having it be one repository could just be easier to manage because there's only one thing to change. You can just use the channel configuration to pull in the current state of all the packages. So seemed like the better way to go for now. But I need to figure out the right way to pull in the necessary files because, I mean, right now, if I use this as a load path, if I put this Guile WebFrame as load path on the project, it will find the data style library correctly. It will find the WebFrame CSS library correctly if I change the name of this as well. So WebFrame CSS, okay? So that would work, but with the Guile build system in Geeks, I need to be specific about which files I'm trying to copy over, okay? There's a source directory parameter to the build system that allows you to say what the source directory of the files are. If I currently were to use that, I would have to say WebFrame, but then that's going to end up pulling in more files than I want. So I kind of want to be specific about which files I'm pulling in so that I only get the ones that I'm interested in. Now, Guile module path. I want to see modules in the file system. That's probably the one we're looking for. Search for IS9P open in the load path. IS9P open.sem and then IS9P open. Seems that they use a library that implements some email RFCs. The regex based off the one you found. Thanks, Trev. I'll throw that one in a second. Parse path, search path. Yeah, they don't tell you exactly. So I guess what I'm looking for, like in Python, there is the concept of a, what do they call it? It's like the module file that gets loaded at the top level of a directory. I don't think that Guile has that. So if I were to try to put WebFrame CSS into a CSS subfolder, but I want a scheme file in that folder to be used as the root of the module, I don't think Guile supports that. That would be nice because then I could point at that folder as a source folder and then just have it put everything in the right place. But I don't think that's going to work. So the alternative is to understand what's in the Guile build system. So if I were to go back over to the projects, code, geeks directory, and then look up Guile build system. Come on now, there it is. Geeks build. Source. Come on. Build inputs if source. Key source. Guile phases search path system. Modules. I mean, the alternative also, which seems really ridiculous, would be to have another set of top level folders in the project where like there's a CSS top level folder and inside of it is there's a full module path to get to webframe/css.scm, but then you would have to go add each one of those as load paths in a project. Now, that's not terrible because that means for local development, you only end up with things in the load path that you actually intend, but it's also more work. I guess that's the goal here, is to try to minimize the pain to put this into a project for development purposes. If you need to develop improvements to the libraries side by side with the project, but then also make it amenable to being packaged with geeks. And it doesn't seem like we have the ability to give a specific file manifest. Unless I'm missing something. All I see is source directory. I mean, maybe what you could say is, why not just have the whole damn thing be a library and people can just use whatever they want. Maybe that's better, okay? Maybe I should just stop being silly and just have it be one whole framework. And you just use whatever you want. Okay, let's just do it that way. Because that sort of solves all the problems at once without making it too complicated. Later, if we need to split it into separate packages, we might just make them into separate repos. We could do that. I don't really have a problem with it either. Okay, so then packages, web frame, Guile web frame, web frame, web frame. Whoa. Hello. We don't need source directory because we actually want it to be the root that gets pulled in. First of T, VCS file. That looks all good. Got web frame checkout. What else? We will have some dependencies. In fact, a lot of the same stuff will be dependencies. We definitely want JSON 4. We're going to want SQLite 3 or whatever the database backend will be. Hashing, gcrypt, GNU TLS, maybe common mark fibers. Common mark, maybe not. I don't really need that. Fibers, maybe not. Guile web frame is a web framework. There we go. All right. Expat? I don't know what license we should go with for these. I don't know if it's compulsory to use GPL. Propagated input SQLite. We don't really want to propagate SQLite. All right, so Guile 3. That's cool. Make load wrapper. We don't need load wrappers in this case because we don't have a program. This is just a library. But this load wrapper stuff could actually be turned into a shared function that's exposed by the channel to be used in package definitions for programs that are built with this stuff. So we don't need any service modules here. I don't know why that's there at all. SQLite, TLS, SSH, GNU PG, Emacs. I don't see any Emacs in here. Or Bash. Bash. Okay, maybe Bash is in there. So place bin files, we don't need that. Which means we don't need that, which means we don't really even need that. Maybe this is easy. Okay, so Guile web frame. Cool. Should data star be under web frame? Maybe not. Hey, Erky. Okay, so. That package definition seems pretty good. We could actually test it out and see if it's okay by running compile. And here we're gonna run geeks build-f. Oh, I need to symlink that file in. So ln-sf. This is the source first, right? Modules. Okay, that looks right. We'll do this in the E shell. Whoops, in the eat. So, geeks build -f geeks.sem should be enough. Okay, unbound variable surfy. Ah, yes, that makes sense. All right. Oops. How do I get to line mode in here? Eat. Control C, Control L. Okay. No code for module GNU. What does that mean? Ooh. That ain't right. Like it's picking up all the Git files, which makes no sense. Oh, I haven't checked anything in yet. Okay, so that kind of does make sense. So let's do a first little check-in here. I won't check in data store yet. I'll check in the geeks file. I'll check in the packages file. I'll check in the CSS file just as to have something here. And then Control X VV. It's not quite ready yet. I'm gonna mark all those as well. There they are. Okay, initial project structure. So now that it's actually checked in, maybe building it will work correctly this time. It was doing some weird stuff. Okay. How did I get all the way back here? Wrong folder too. Geeks build -f geeks.sem. No code for module GNU. Where is this happening? Guild compile LO webframe packages.go. Channel geeks channel. Okay, so it didn't take all the Git files at least. Webframe packages, webframe. Geeks channel, readme, geeks SCM. Doesn't need that. Patch, file, patch shebangs, compiling. File, webframe packages.scm. Okay, so it's trying to compile that for some reason. Oh, is there another file that I need from the Emacs packages project or something? Oh, the git ignore? No, that can't be right because those need to be checked in. The modules path or something? No. No. I need to delete that file. We don't use that anymore. In fact, let me go to I digress for a moment because I need to double check something. Manifest. No, okay, it's not mentioned. It's good. I don't know why it's trying to pull that in. What is the problem with the packages file? It says it can't find the GNU module, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's fine for the Emacs packages project. Same thing. I'm pretty sure that what we see here is what we already know. So find file at point. Uncaught exception, raise exception, no code from module GNU. Oh, you know what? I think it's the source folder issue. I think that's what's happening. So, is there a way to ignore a folder? Not compiled file regex, scheme file regex. Search paths. Check out the source of haunt for a second. GNU build system. Okay. That partially explains it. Should I just move everything under the source folder? Kind of seems annoying to have to do that, but I mean, that will solve the problem, I think. Let's go back to WebFrame. Oops. Removing those to source. Now in the package definition, we can go back to having packages. We can have a source directory in arguments. That goes after build system. Drop that there. That's good. Now we can go back into our eat session. And then try to build that again. I'm sorry. No source folder. It's there. Source, right there. So strange. Man, I'm used to the ANSI term key bindings, and eat is kind of driving me nuts at the moment. But it is better than ANSI term. ANSI term's terrible. What am I trying to do now? What was I going for? I was looking at the build output to try to figure out what the hell happened. Shadir, no such file directory. Oh, it's because I haven't checked it in yet. That makes sense. No. yeah, don't... That's not what I wanted. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know how to unstage something in VC mode. Git rm source / data star. It doesn't delete the file, I think. Use cache to keep the file. Okay. All right, still there. So then back to the diff. Hey, Luis, it's going fine. Wrong folder. Let's see. There we go. Unregistered. Got it. So now we have those. I'm going to check the diff real quick. Okay, that's right. So move source files under source. Now that should work. Okay. Now if we go take a look at what's in that folder, in fact, we can just use find file at point, share, Guile, site 3.0, web frame CSS, and that's there. So we should be able to use that package builds now, and anything in there will work. So now we can go and try to add the data star library as well. Let's do that by just going here and checking it in. So yeah, it's fine. Let's check it first. Let's make sure that it doesn't need anything special. The JSON library, so it needs that. That's fine. We've got that. Okay. And now I should be able to push this library. Okay, I got to set the upstream too. Code's there now. Now that the code is there, and those libraries there, we can try to actually pull that into the project. So if I were to go back to the Emacs packages project, let's see, how are we doing on time? All right, we're doing pretty good. So for this, so Emacs packages will need to depend on the web frame channel. There's a way to specify package dependencies. So Geeks channels, channel dependency. Let's see. Declaring channel dependencies. Yeah, Geeks channel file, the root of the repository. The metadata file should be a simple S expression. Dependencies, channel, sum, collection. Introduction bit was optional. Got it. So that's basically it. We just need to put that in a dependencies list. Let's go into the Geeks channel file. What's it called? We don't need a branch. We do need Does need to be a... Maybe it's treated as data already and it's not actually code. We'll see. Okay. So now we have this as a channel. And then go into our scripts, start server. We're gonna need a way to run this in development mode though. Because previously, we were just running that file directly, but I don't think we can do that anymore because we're gonna need to see, so trying to think the right way to do this. Maybe I don't need to. So let's look at this package definition. The web, we're going to pull in web frame packages. We're also going to make Guile web frame a dependency. Now the question is, when I try to run that, is it going to do the right thing? If I go back into the compilation buffer, restart it. No code for module web frame packages. And what am I doing for compiling this? Geek shell df geeks scm. Right, so Geek shell doesn't seem to try to get the channel dependencies pulled in. Let me see if I can sketch out what the problem is here. To pull in the web frame channel, for development, we need to add that repo to the load path for the start server script invocation. I guess the wrapper script would work though. So where was that? Do I still have that? Okay, so Guile load path. yes, you'll be able to use the data start interface plus any of the other helper code that comes along with that. It needs to be baked quite a lot though. All this stuff is kind of a mess. All right, so Guile load path. We're gonna say // Guile webframe / source : Guile load path. Then scripts / start server.scm. I don't know if that's gonna work, but let's see. So chmod x wrong folder. Ooh, we still got a problem though. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so Geek Shell, right? So that's not going to work because WebFrame packages is not there. What we kind of need is Geek's Time Machine. Is there a way to specify extra channels through this aside from just using a channel file? Channels equals file. Specify commit URL. Oh, whoa, URL. Use git repository at URL, but for what? Geeks? We pinned dir to the package module search path. Maybe I could do the same thing with Geek Shell. I think so. Okay, all right. Cool, cool, cool. I think that probably will help. So Geek Shell -L ... /... it's gonna do the REPL thing again. Guile webframe. I might have to add geek / modules, which sucks. Is that right? Yeah, it's really obnoxious. Devs, oh, right, fine. That's really obnoxious. No code for module fibers and no package specified empty environment. Oh, wait, I put the dash. No, I didn't, did I? Okay, fine. That makes sense. So -D -F geeks.scm. Look at that. That's awful. It's running. Now, I'm not using the new libraries yet. Maybe I need a different way to do this. just trying to get my thoughts together for a second. I mean, it seems to be working. Let's, in fact, double check this by going into the project folder. We're going to delete the DataStar module. And we're going to delete the CSS module. And then we are going to find the usage of what? Control XPG, CSS, no, site util CSS. Where is it being used? It's being used in routes. Here we will use WebFrame CSS instead, because we just changed the name of that. And that should be enough to verify, I think, that it's working as intended. Yep. And if we go reload the page, where is it? Then it seems to be okay. Like, it seems to be working. All the DataStar stuff should still be working. Got our package listing. George is logged in. Ooh, we create a tip, and the tip creation seems to work. Vote for the tip. Okay, that seems to do something. Who knows? Anyway, if I go to George's profile, cool. All right. So the libraries seem to be getting pulled from the right place because we don't have them anymore in the source for Emacs packages, so I could get those out. I just need a cleaner way to run the development script. Also, I need to go update the package definition to make sure I'm adding the WebFrame library to the wrappers. And all I really need to do for that is just go Guile WebFrame here, and that should be enough because I've already abstracted the rest of the wrapping. That should be fine. Got Guile WebFrame in list. It's being found now. All right, so for the rest of the stream, maybe that's the trick. Let's make sure that we can check in all the changes, be able to develop them side by side with the project itself, but also be able to check in the changes, have them work whenever I'm pulling it with the server configurations repository. Everything builds correctly there and is able to be deployed. So if we can deploy it, then we know that we've got at least a couple of our basic libraries pulled out into a separate repo that can be reused across other projects. And we've got a sort of pattern to follow for doing that. All right. First, I'm just going to get rid of this manifest file. So remove unused manifest.scm. Let's just get that out of there. Now for the dev server aspect. There's two steps to this. Which is the Geek shell invocation, where we're adding the Guile WebFrame Geeks modules to the load path, so that the geeks.scm file is able to find the symbol in the module for WebFrame packages. And then we're also using the Guile load path of the WebFrame project inside of this script. Now the question is this script necessary? I mean, I could have like a dev.sh script. Or this whole script itself could possibly do this thing. Let's just see. Maybe geeks shell -l // Guile WebFrame geeks modules. This is awful, but it is what it is. df geeks.scm. I'm hoping this environment variable passes through. I don't know if it will though. So what if I cancel that and just run scripts dev server? Can't have been that easy, could it? I mean, it's working. Yeah, let me get in with a REPL, actually. Let's get in with the REPL. Because I'll be able to check the load paths there. So, load path. I see Geyser Guile. Okay, there it is. .webframes source. Does webframe show up anywhere else in here? Yeah, we haven't built the package yet. Cool. All right, so that works. That's doing what I expected it to. And the Geeks modules path that I passed the Geeks shell is not getting passed through. So only the environment variable seems to be getting passed through, which is good. That's what I would expect to see. All right. So in that case, we can try to check this code in on the Emacs packages side. I think we're good on the WebFrame side. Everything's up to date here. Let me make sure it's pushed. Okay, that's pushed. Now if I go back to the Emacs packages repo and check the status for everything. Geeks channel changes. We got the dependencies being added. Packages at SCM. Let's get rid of the notes there. We don't need that anymore. And then we've added WebFrame to the list of dependencies. That's good. Then added the dev server script. We're going to just press V to add that in. Remove data star to SCM. That's fine. We've removed CSS. We've edited routes.scm to change the module import. And we've edited users.scm to do what? All right, we won't check that one in. That one doesn't need to be checked in. We'll check that in separately. In fact, can I go ahead and just do that now? Let's put the regex that Trev pointed out in here, and we'll check it first, and then we'll let me save that one first, just in case. Not that I don't trust Trev or anything. Why wouldn't I not trust? Why would I not trust Trev, huh? All right, so all num. Oh, that's probably why, because I was trying to put it inside of a character class, and that wasn't going to work. Oh, it is in a character class. Fine. So all num // dot. I'm having to type this in manually because it's on a different computer. At group all num. That's too many square brackets. / hyphen dot or plus dot plus all num 2 4. So let's check that out in the REPL. Use ice9 regex. Okay, it does not complain about the syntax of the regex, so that's a good sign. That's not valid. CK, FK, I don't know. I don't know. What am I typing? Now, services. Yeah, so there are longer top level domains now. I'm gonna put this as 10 or something because I don't know how long they could possibly get, but 4 is definitely not valid anymore because there's like systems and other super long extensions. So let's just be sure we're not screwing that up. All right, what else did we have in here? The regex, removing the check value, appropriate values, validators for each field. Luis says he's always asking for his payment. If it's still waiting, you should start not trusting his work, or emaxpackages.com will eventually go offline for unknown reasons. Yeah. He's going to send the mafia after me. Okay, so I'm going to check this file in. Add real field validators for user registration form. Okay, so now we got that. And the rest is to switch to using the new channel. So we're going to commit this. Use new Guile WebFrame channel. I'm going to push this up. Then we're going to go over to the server configurations repo. Dev deploy. See what have we been doing here so far. Load path geeks modules. We're going to have to add that one here too. So let's add it first. So -l / Guile WebFrame .geeks modules. There we go. Channels. Actually, let's not put anything special in the channels because emaxpackages.com channel should automatically pull in WebFrame because it's a dependency of that channel. So it might not be necessary. How do we want to test this? Well, first of all, let's try to build. Wait, channels dev? That's not right. Let me check the... already up to date. Dev deploy is new. And channels dev? There is no channels dev. Okay, fine. Okay. So maybe we can just go ahead and try to do a deployment. That'll be interesting to see. Wait, no. Let's try to build emaxpackages.com first. So geeks shell geeks time machine build emaxpackages.com. I don't know how long that's going to take. We'll find out though. Okay, so updating channel Guile WebFrame, that's good. So pull that in automatically from the Emacs packages channel. So that's building the derivation for the channel configuration. So it's going to take a moment. Let me go over to the WebFrame folder. I want to just say in the README, Guile WebFrame tentative name is packages. How did I describe this? Louis says, are you using Time Machine here to pin the main Geeks channel commit? Not at the moment. I'm more using it to pull in the project channel repositories only for the server configuration build. I don't want to put them in my actual Geeks configuration, my personal Geeks configuration. Let's see, how can I make this note? This project is not yet ready. Just making sure people know that. All right, so now we're building the project, it seems. Or the package cache, at least, before we build the project, I guess. I don't know. Not sure exactly what it's doing at the moment. Keeper says, what time zone are you in? I'm in Eastern European time. I'm in Athens. Okay, seems like it built the project. Let's see what's in the folder. Actually, find file at point. I'm going to check the bin folder because the start server wrapper will tell us if web frame is in here. And it is. So if I were to go jump into that folder path, find file at point. No. RQ1AL, GNU store. RQ1AL, there it is. Share, Guile, site, 3.0, WebFrame, and Datastar. Okay, so those are there. So we know that the project does build with a dependency. It's being pulled in with the wrapper correctly. Now the only thing left to do is just to try to deploy it and see what happens. So if I can just do a little dev deploy here. Let's see what happens. And if the site continues to work after we deploy it, then we'll know that we didn't totally destroy everything, which is good. We will have to double check though, because maybe the packages now will be there 3 times because it will do the sync 3 times. And that's okay if it happens that way. We'll fix that maybe next time because we're almost out of time here. I need to make sure I put up a service on the server for cleaning up the old generations and build files. They're basically running XGC at some interval. Okay, successfully deployed. Let's check the staging site. Yeah, I expected that. I expected it to time out because it's still running the sync script. All right, so look at packages by keyword. Uh-oh. I doubt that has anything to do with 500 keywords. Internal server error, that's fine. So let me see. Is the server still running? Still running. Package listing. I wonder if the database got wrecked. No. Oh, the sync script, did it finally load? Is that what happened? It just took forever? Okay. Yeah, now they're there 3 times. So that does make sense. Everything's being synced multiple times. Every time I deploy, it syncs all the archives another time. So that doesn't make sense. Let's see if we can register a user. I'm not going to tell you what the password is because I don't want you to hack it. But register. Not found. No way. Hold on. Hold on. Let me think about this for a minute. Why is this happening? I pushed everything, right? Emaxpackages.com. Half working user registration form. The route should have been done there. Yeah, register. So which part of the code are we using? One way to tell would be to open up the inspector and see what version of Datastar we're pulling in. Beta 3. So this is still the old site content. And the question is why? Because I'm doing a dev deployment from the local file system. emacspackage.com, geeks modules. So yeah, there's no commit hash on this. Geek Shell supports local load paths. Geek Shell does not support channel files, but you can run Geek Shell through Geek's Time Machine. Trying to see where am I going? Yeah, nothing's pinned. Oh, that Geeks is pinned. That's okay. I don't care that Geeks is pinned. Come on. It's running an old version. Nginx caching, I don't think it should be caching like that. Because it should have like actually looked for the route. If it was a missing path, it wouldn't just tell me not found, I don't think. And whoops. I'm trying to have Firefox ask for the non-cache version of the file by going in dev mode. This is still the old stuff. I don't know why that would be the case. Why would it not have the new files? Because in Geeks Deploy, Geeks Time Machine -c channels.scm. I mean, is Geeks Time Machine even needed in this case? Is it causing trouble somehow? Speaker says, so is Geeks actually acting like Docker, but instead of containerizing things, it actually runs directly on host, which is faster. I don't know if it's necessarily faster to run it directly on the host, but Geeks is sort of clean room building all the software and then setting them up on the server in a repeatable way. So it's not 100% as perfect as creating a new container and starting it because that's like a completely fresh build. But I think it's pretty close. All right. I'm just trying to like follow the train of thought here. In fact, I'm gonna turn this music off for a second because I feel like it keeps playing the same songs over and over again. Even though there's a ton of songs on this list. Actually, I think that they just made a playlist that has the same songs over and over again. Okay. So passing load paths to deploy should override what's in the channel config. In theory. I could have a channels dev or I could just not use time machine. I mean, I could try running geeks deploy without it and see what happens. So let's see. If I go to eat. Let's just see if that does anything different. You know, at the same time, I want it to not sync the database. Can I fix that problem really fast? Because it's going to drive me nuts. Source, no, scripts, sync archives. What's the quickest way to do this? I guess we could do -D to delete the database. Update schema. If the file exists already, maybe I won't actually try to sync it. Do I have a procedure for that? Site DB file name. Maybe I should make a procedure. Okay, so if the DB file already exists, we're not going to do the initial sync. So let me actually do that locally here. Go to eat, and then cd emacs packages, geeks shell -d -f geeks.scm scripts sync archives.scm. No code for module web frame packages. Let me think. -L Guile web frame that geeks modules. Unbound variable DB exists. Why? D exists. Oh, that is a mistake right there. Weird, that's not what the error was. I see, I saw it. Okay, all right, cool. Updating database schema, cool. So it didn't actually pull it again. So that should fix that issue. Let's just check out the, nope. Don't sync archives if DB file already exists. Just a stopgap measure for now. All right, so that's good. And now we should be able to try to deploy the site again. Now, what was it that I was doing? I did that to make sure that we don't sync the DB again. Oh, right. I changed dev deploy. Or I was going to run dev deploy without the channel config to see if it improves things at all. I pushed that, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah. Fikri says, this feels like writing Ruby code with the question mark and exclamation point at the end of procedure function names. Well, that came from Scheme to begin with. I think Ruby got that from Scheme. Aren't the sites served by a Geek service? Is that also using the time stream script? No, the service that's on the server is using the configuration that's being built on this machine and sent over there. So whatever I build from this machine with the channels and configuration is being used directly on the other machine. So I don't have to worry about what it's doing because it should be doing the right thing already. And in theory, this should just like start working. I don't mean start working. I mean like we shouldn't have to wait for it to decide or just try to sync the archive. So we should be able to see pretty fast whether the site's updated. A weird error on YouTube saying the audio bitrate is low. Anybody's hearing any issues with the audio? Okay, this is kind of weird that it's doing this. I probably should have used a bare channel configuration because now it's like updating a bunch of stuff. All right, let's back this up one tick and we sure. I don't know, but that's what we're trying to verify. The way the Geeks works, it should be doing what I tell it to. But there's something wrong here, and I think that it has to do with the channel config. So server configurations, channels.scm. Let's grab the same Geeks channel config, channels, dev. I had started doing this, then I stopped. Just needs to be a list at the top. List. Okay. I'm going to go back to dev deploy, and this actually is fine now, so I'll go back to eat and then run dev deploy.sh. Why are we updating the Emacs packages channel? We shouldn't have to do that because I didn't put dev. That's why. There we go. Now it's only using the main Geeks channel, and it shouldn't be confused by the other the existence of the Emacs packages channel in the channel file. I hope that helps, but we'll find out. It should build the emacsPackages.com package too at some point. I would hope it does. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Now if we go to the site is visible, it's working, register. That does not make any sense. If we look at the head, I still see beta 3 here. I wonder if herd is not restarting the service correctly. So SSH David Will at staging.emacsPackages.com. Is that going to work? Oh, port 2222. Yes. Okay, so herd status, sudo herd status, sudo herd restart site. Okay, the site did not get restarted. For some reason, whenever the site was republished, it didn't get restarted correctly. But it's there. And you can see that the account registration stuff is there. So Fubert, email fubert@foo.com. Come on. Full name, Fubert. Gubert. What else? Now I have to come up with a password that will fit the guidelines. Right? Does it show that? Get out of the way. Okay, bio. Hello. Register account. Okay, now we've created the account. Let's go log in. Fubert. Fubert. I need to make it so that pressing enter does that. Okay, so Fubert's logged in. That's great. And so we can actually create a user account, log in, and log out. Okay, I think that worked. I don't know why the site did not restart correctly. I had to go manually restart it. Just a sweet fizzle monster. The monster's gone, buddy, unfortunately. So I don't even think that what I did was necessary. I think that was a matter of the site, the service not being restarted correctly. And I have no idea why it did not get restarted when we did that. But let's just double check. All right, the Emacs packages repo is clean. Let's go check the server configs repo. Did we change anything? I think we might have changed. Oh, dev deploy is already unregistered. I could probably get rid of that file again. Channels dev, delete that. And then dev deploy, I can check that in so that it's just there and available in case people need to use it. So add dev deploy sh script. And web frame. README, yeah, I should probably check in the README. So I'll add that. Add maturity warning to readme.org. Push that. And we're good to go. So I think that was pretty good progress for the week. David says, did you make changes to the service definitions? No. Do you think that's probably part of the problem? Is that the service itself didn't change? I would think that the package derivation changing should be enough to trigger that, but maybe not. I don't know. I would hope so. Okay. So let me just go back to the Crafter Hours log real quick. Finish up details on user registration page. Don't sync the database. Yep. We'll do that next time. Don't try sync archives. EB already exists. We already did that. Break up code and reusable libraries. We've only done these two so far. So move over more library code. To Guile WebFrame. And the name of Guile WebFrame may change if I decide on a better name, but we'll see. Package the libraries with geeks and use them in the project. Yeah, so we did all that. Cool. I think that was pretty good. We did manage to get everything put into another channel and use it as libraries across both the dev experience and deployment. So pretty successful for the day. And then that's good because that means I can start using them in the new systemcorrectors.net site, which is finally progressing because I managed to get it building correctly in Geeks this morning. I got the Emacs org publish working along with the Haunt side of the publish operation. So that should be, I might have a staging site up for that soon too, which should be cool. Okay, so thank you everybody for your time and attention today. If you have any questions, feel free to find me in the IRC or on the forum or leave a comment on the stream recording. Yeah, let me know what you think. And until next time, happy hacking. We'll see you.